These storms are coming through the metro right at rush hour. Once again, we are tracking these storms across Oklahoma. So, right during the metro, the rush hour, let's take a look at the greatest storm risk right now. Here's the severe thunderstorm warning that's going through Newcastle. If you recognize the name Newcastle and you're from outside of Oklahoma, that was because we had a tornado touchdown in Newcastle on Tuesday afternoon. I think it was Tuesday. It has just been day after day after day of storms here in Oklahoma, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. We are expecting another round of storms tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So let's get right into it. What are we expecting here in Newcastle as these storms come through? Because it's eerie looking. Anywhere from Edmond, we see those storm clouds. We've got some wet grounds out here in Edmond. It's going to be a wet evening commute for really anyone across the city. If you're heading out of work right now, it's absolutely going to be a wet evening commute. And let's play this radar, give it just a minute to load. But let's play this radar through and show you that these storms have been tracking for a long time. They initiated out near the Oklahoma and Texas state line, continuing to track to the east, right along I-40, and finally making it into the metro, again, right around the evening commute. So far, the biggest risks have been high wind, right around 60 to 70 miles an hour. I think the severe thunderstorm warning right now is warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. And there it comes into Norman. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen for the rest of the night. So you can see that we have storms. Let me pause this radar loop, bring it to the present. We have storms back to the west that will make their way into Norman as we head into the next hour. So this is not just the only round of storms that we're going to have tonight. We've got another round of storms farther back to the west that's going to come into the city or coming into the metro later on as well. So I can see your chats at the side of the screen over here. We appreciate everyone hopping on right now. We see people hopping on from X, Facebook, YouTube at the moment. Let me know where you're watching from. Are you watching from here in Oklahoma? Are you watching from somewhere else across the US? Because we not only have storms here in Oklahoma City, and we'll really focus on these storms, but we also have storms out in southwestern Kansas, where you can see that we have a confirmed tornado on the ground right now and some large hail out there as well. We also have storms across the New Mexico and Texas state line, another confirmed tornado here as well. And then some massive hailstones down in Fort Stockton. Yeah, we're talking about tennis ball size hail in this area. That is confirmed. Tennis ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So let's go back up to the Oklahoma City metro because I think that's where a lot of people are watching from right now. But if I'm incorrect, if you want to go back down into Texas, Kansas, or New Mexico, let me know and we can head back down there. Let's go into Oklahoma City because I think a lot of people have questions about what to expect for the rest of the evening. I know there's a lot going on right now. People are headed home from their evening, from their jobs, headed back to either their house or maybe to dinner or downtown for the Thunder game tonight. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch for everyone highlighted here in red. This goes until 8 o'clock tonight. The primary threats with this will be strong wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour, so it's pretty strong, and ping pong ball size hail. So hail about 1.5 inches in size. So what we're watching for right now, and I'll read you what the National Weather Service says, is a cluster of storms with embedded Boeing supercell structures will likely persist while moving east-southeastward through central Oklahoma, especially through the southern half of OKC. That's what we're seeing right now. Damaging wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour and large hail up to ping pong ball size hail in diameter are possible. The severe thunderstorm watch area is approximately along 45 statute miles east and west of a line from, they just kind of describe where the watch is, so we won't go through that. They're also saying, remember, while we don't have a tornado watch in the area, severe thunderstorms can and occasionally do produce tornadoes. So again, that is the wording from the National Weather Service out in Norman for this severe thunderstorm watch that's in place right now until 8 o'clock tonight. So the biggest thing that stands out to me here is that Boeing supercell structure. That's what they're talking about for high winds. You can't really see it right now. However, I'm going to show you your forecast for the rest of the night, and you'll be able to see it a little bit better from this forecast. So let's bring up the models. And if you guys want to comment where you're watching from right now, we'll talk about your area specifically. Are you watching from Norman, Oklahoma City, Edmond areas? Or maybe you're out in places like Chickasha that's about to get a ton of rain. While I'm waiting for those questions to come in, we'll pull up the models here. So let's pull up the models. Let's do a split screen. How does that look? Maybe something like that. Let's keep it like that. Alrighty. What should we do first? NAM Nest. Let me pull back up that severe thunderstorm warning. There we go. There's the warning. All right, going down into Oklahoma. I don't like that one. We'll do this. So what we are looking at here, and I'm going to have to make this a little bit longer so I can see the times at the very top. And what we're looking at here is we are looking at storms, let's see, not handling, this model is not handling the storms in Oklahoma City very well at all. Let's go to the HER. All right, there's the storms here in Oklahoma City. This model is doing okay with these storms, but I want to show you, this is really what I want to point out about the forecast for Oklahoma City. This is just round one of storms. We are expecting another round late tonight, and that starts up here in northwestern Oklahoma, like in the Panhandle and southwestern Kansas. So let's go to a full model run here. Okay, watch these storms up here slowly come into the city through the overnight hours tonight. And this is something that the National Weather Service or the Storm Prediction Center was mentioning earlier. Do you see this bowing structure right here? This backward C-shaped structure right here? That indicates strong wind. So strong wind not only through Tulsa, down the Turner Turnpike, and into Oklahoma City. That is what we're expecting as we head into the overnight hours tonight. So we're talking about places pretty populated, expecting some strong wind and some potential hail with this as well. I think the HER is handling storms okay right now. Let's go back to the NAM and see what they have. So we're back to the NAM now, which didn't handle storms this afternoon and evening very well, especially here in Oklahoma City. But it does agree that we're expecting another round of storms through the overnight hours that come right into the city, both Oklahoma City and in Tulsa. And I'm seeing some questions about where you guys are watching from right now. I'm in Anadarko. Has it passed for the night? So let's go to Anadarko. Anadarko, you guys are testing my my geography just a little bit here. Hang on one second. I want to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's start in Anadarko. Again, Chickasha, Anadarko right here. You guys just had that line of storms. And I'm actually wondering, my Anadarko person, that was on YouTube. How are the winds with this storm? I was kind of wondering about how strong the winds were with this. Under 60 miles an hour, we know that, but I was kind of wondering about how strong the winds were. You guys probably got a lot of rain. I'm curious how much rain you guys got. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Isn't it not updating quite yet? Hinton got about 1.5 inches of rain from these storms earlier. Minko, about 0.6 of an inch, a little over 1/2 inch there. Yeah, we got a ton of rain along I-40. But for Anadarko, no, you guys will probably still have storms later on tonight. So let's go back to the models here. There's your model right there. So let's go back to this model and let's take a look at Anadarko. You guys will probably have another round of storms through the overnight hours tonight. So you may have a little bit of a break, and then overnight tonight, like while you're sleeping, you're going to have another round of storms. So let's go back a little bit. There's the storms right now. As we head into the overnight hours, we're going to see another round come through, starting up in northwestern Oklahoma and then sweeping through the state right along 44 and into Chickasha, Anadarko area while you guys are sleeping. So we're talking about early tomorrow morning, like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I think actually during our noon forecast today, we said 3:30 to 5:30 in the morning. That was the timeline I gave. So we're talking about tomorrow morning when these storms come through. To answer my question about the winds, you're saying not too bad. You have a podcast and don't want to worry about outages. Oh, you have a podcast to do? At first, I read that like you have a podcast that you're listening to, so you don't have to worry about outages. But yeah, if you have a podcast to do, you should be pretty good for the rest of the night. I mean, look, this model wants to give you a little bit of a break for now. Let's take a look at the HER. Maybe a few isolated storms. Really, I think that we're in a break right now out in Anadarko. But we'll have more storms overnight tonight. Where's everyone else watching from? Michael is watching from Colorado Springs. Thanks for joining us, Michael. Bunch of small hail and rain in Colorado Springs. Let's go up to Colorado. There's Colorado Springs. When did you guys get hail? Got a little bit of a potential flood issue, right? Let's play this all the way through. There's your hail in Colorado Springs. Let's see. This was warned for 1-inch size hail. So thanks for that report, Michael. We appreciate it. And then just a little update for the rest of the U.S. here. So we've got a pretty impressive thunderstorm up in southwestern Kansas right now, moving to the east at 30 miles an hour, 2-inch size hail and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And then we've got another storm crossing the New Mexico state line and into Texas. Confirmed tornado on the ground right now, plus 2-inch size hail. Excuse me, hang on 1 second. Let me get this updated. Okay, the hail in this severe thunderstorm could get up to baseball size hail. So we're talking about potential baseball size hail in this area. So 2.75 inches and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So this area of the country will be where I'm watching for the greatest tornado and large hail potential for today. We've got some pretty impressive large hail down in Fort Stockton as well, where we've already seen tennis ball size hail from this severe thunderstorm right here that is right to the south of the Fort Stockton area, moving to the southeast as well. And then what do we have up in New York? I had Albany at a low risk for hail today and a better chance for high wind. And $0.5 size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts is what we have going on in New York right now. So again, we've got thunderstorm watch, thunderstorm watch, thunderstorm watch, thunderstorm watch for places like Denver and places to the west. Oklahoma City in a severe thunderstorm watch. Tornado watch highlighted there in pink for Lubbock and then the eastern side of New Mexico. And Garden City, Kansas, talking about some large hail in this area This tornado watch goes until 9 o'clock tonight. Let's go back down and check on our friends here in Oklahoma City. We have had reports of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and even quarter-size hail out in Minco. And it is no longer warned. We no longer have a severe thunderstorm warning here in Oklahoma City. We are severe clear for now. However, remember, we are still in a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock tonight, potentially still watching for strong winds and ping pong ball size hail. So we'll have to watch and see what this storm does right now. The southern edge of the storm may be something to keep an eye on right here. Going into Chickasha and Ninica right now. And then we'll have another chance for storms through the overnight hours. So let's pull this back up one more time. Again, another round of storms through the overnight hours tonight. This is just round 1, and we're expecting another round of storms to go through anywhere between Tulsa to Oklahoma City, right along the Turner Turnpike. And this is like late tonight into early tomorrow morning. So we're talking about 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. on Friday morning, maybe a bit later. It just kind of depends on how fast this moves in here. So just before that alarm goes off, you're probably going to be waking up to lightning and thunder. That's always how it goes, right? It feels like you've just got 1 more hour, 2 more hours of sleep, and you're getting up for storms, or the dogs are barking because of the storms. That's how it goes, right? Alrighty, well, that is the forecast and the live storm update. Thanks for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. We will jump back on if there's anything else to report today. We always keep our social media updated. So we're talking about X, Twitter. That's the same thing. We're talking about X, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on all social media platforms. So we will talk to you guys again as we give you more updates as we head into the overnight hours. All righty. Thanks for joining us tonight.